Welcome, friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio. My name is Teresa Castro, and this is the Prayer for Peace program, 6 p.m. Sunday. And there is a prayer every day at 6 p.m. So please join us. There are also prayers in the morning as well at 9 a.m. That's Eastern time. So welcome, everyone, and so glad to be here again with all of you. And I hope everyone had a safe and happy holidays. And here we go off into the holiday season, if you so celebrate. Hello, Beth. Welcome. Nice to have you sign in this evening. And Abby, nice to see you as well. Thank you for signing in. So this evening, our message comes out of this book, which is fairly new, A Full Life. And this is one of Divaldo's books that was recently revised and published. And we know that Joanna De Ângelis is the spirit who dictated this book, and Divaldo Franco is the medium who psychographed it. Hello, Slavic. Welcome. So again, the book is entitled A Full Life, and I was able to get mine on Amazon. So, or if you're near a Spiritist center that sells books, they may have it as well. And so we're looking at chapter 4 out of this book. And it is entitled, What Do You Want Me to Do? Now, right away, most of us know this phrase. We remember this phrase. This is when Saul encountered Jesus at the gates of Damascus. And you can read about this in Paul and Stephen in chapter 10. So Joanna brings this phrase to us to help us to see how it's important. This question is an important question for all of us to be asking as well. And, we know these words pretty much as Saul's aha moment. He realizes Jesus is the Messiah, that he was wrong in what he was doing, persecuting the Christians. And it's also in Paul and Stephen book, they note that by asking this question, it was the first sign of his Christian faith, because he realizes he was wrong. And Joanna tells us it's a very important question. She says that Saul needed to know what he was to do so he could surrender completely and know how to change his behavior. So she reminds us that there was no doubt, there was no room for doubt, uncertainty, or vagueness. He really needed to know so he could have a purpose and a meaning in his life. And she goes on to say that a life without meaning or purpose is a cause for great suffering. So you may be asking, what does this have to do with peace? This is a Prayer for Peace program. Well, here's how Joanna helps us to understand this is directly connected with peace. She says, because no one can advance on the existential pathway safely and peacefully unless they have ideals, something that compels them to move forward. And then she goes on to kind of categorize us in 3 different types in terms of having purpose in our life. And the first one she talks about is the conformist. She says, this is the type of person who just does whatever the majority does. So there's no authenticity there. They're just kind of going with what everybody else is doing, no matter if it makes sense to them or not. They're following the majority. They're being, right in with the majority of the people. Whatever is the popular fad, the popular thing everyone is doing. And then she talks about a second class that are called tyrants. They are reactionaries. They're just against whatever the rules are, and they have extravagant behaviors. So they're different from the conformists in that they're not following the majority, they're actually opposing. They're causing obstacles. And then she says the majority of us fall into this third category, which are empty lives. That we're tired of materials, we're tired of the pleasures. We've come to realize they're temporary, they're not lasting, but we've also lost meaning in our life. And that she says what happens is that sets us up to indifference, not caring, and therefore falling into depression. And then we know suicide, and we know the story. So, um, so here's what she says. Instead of falling into one of these categories, she said, the human being that thinks and aspires to a harmonious life always asks, what do you want me to do? And so she goes on to remind us that Saul got a response from Jesus. Jesus told him, go to Damascus, and there you will be told what to do. So Saul obeyed, right? Consent. We know obeying is consent through reason. So he goes to Damascus. He meets up with Ananias, right, who's one of the disciples of Jesus. And he learns that he is to enlighten humanity. Saul comes to realize that in speaking with Ananias. And thus the apostle to the Gentiles was born. So Joanna goes on to say that Saul, he understood the meaning of love and charity. He never stopped serving, and he knew how to renounce his ego and the things deemed as important. So here's the beautiful thing about this chapter. Joanna ends the chapter by giving us some questions. So we come to see that this question is not just theoretical or analytical, but it's also practical. And here are the questions she gives us. She says, look closely at how you spend your time and ask yourself what you should do about it. And then, oh, wait a minute, excuse me. Look closely at how you spend your time and ask yourself if you are doing what you should. Am I doing what I should be doing? Am I following my mission? Am I collaborating with my reincarnatory plan? Next question. If you are feeling aimless and dull, ask Jesus what you should do about it and then do it. Next question. If you need to go back to complete a task, did I not fully learn something? Do so without fear. It will help you advance. Then she says, if difficulties are hindering your march, break the dominant chains and do not stop. Jesus does not stop. So she tells us that we should all be asking, Jesus, what do you want me to do? And then she reminds us that Jesus always recommended that we love more fully. And we remember about love, equal charity. And what is charity? Benevolence towards all, having goodwill, indulgence, overlooking the imperfections of others, and forgiveness. So this question is asking us to have purpose in our life and let that central purpose revolve around love, expanding, coming to understand, to love more fully, to have our love be more encompassing. So we better understand that love means just those things, having goodwill, overlooking people's indulgences, and forgiveness. No, maybe I'm not going to be hanging out with that person. No, maybe we're not going to have lunch together. No, maybe we're not even going to exchange Christmas gifts. But I am not going to become an obstacle in their life, nor in my own. So let us expand the meaning of love and understand that and practice it. So I invite you all to join me now in a prayer, and let us go into this prayer with this question in mind of, Jesus, what would you have me do? And if you safely can, close your eyes and let us elevate our thoughts, connecting with those spirits who have joined with us. We say hello and welcome to those who have come to inspire and guide us, to those who are familiar to us, those who love us, and even those who don't like us so well. We say hello and welcome. Mother, Father, God, first cause of all things, divine creator. We thank you for this beautiful book that has brought us this lesson today, reminding us to analyze, examine what is our purpose in life. We are ever so grateful. Thank you, Joanna De Ângelis, Divaldo Franco. And we are reminded that part of our duty is in helping each other. So let us now, at this moment, remember all those who are facing great trials, who are in more need than ourselves. Let us remember those who may be lacking materials in terms of food, nourishment, clothing, and shelter. May we send them warm, loving thoughts. May they be more receptive to the divine love and light that surrounds them. And we think of not only our own family, but the universal family, those countries who are at war, who are living under great, harsh circumstances. And let us remember that peace begins within, starting with a clear conscience. So let us be mindful and let us be proactive and continue taking action in what that we are being guided and directed to do. That we may be open and willing, renouncing our own desires and passions, but obeying that guidance that is directed toward us. We are ever so grateful to have the consoler, Spiritism, helping us to better understand Jesus' teachings and providing us with consolation that we may better focus on the direction and guidance, continuing our mission and following in the footsteps of Jesus. We thank you, we adore you, and we humbly ask for your blessings and permission as we close this prayer moment. And so be it. And so be it, my friends. Please come back next Sunday, and again, we will have another prayer for peace moment. Thank you all. I wish you all a healthy week. And let us take this question forward when we find ourselves unsure about making a decision, is to really ask Jesus, what is it you would want me to do? What is it I am to do? And then let's follow it. God bless. Many blessings to you all. Let's remember to help somebody else. Thank you. See you all next week.